manners maketh
Well,
the man.
sacketh.
What?
Well, sacketh.
Yeah, okay. So, hi, welcome to End Critter Reviews on an episode of After the Credits on End Critter Reviews. And this is Tyler from End Critter Reviews.
And Steven from Steven Lawson Studios.
Yes, and today is our review on Kingsman, The Golden Circle. Personally, I wish it would have been called Kingsman 2, The Golden Circle, but anyway, so this is the first sequel that this director has done. I think his name is Matthew Vaughn, or...
Yeah, Matthew Vaughn.
Okay, this guy has directed a lot of movies, from Layer Cake to X-Men First Class, and also Kingsman, The Secret Service.
Mm-hmm.
And he's never really done a sequel until this point, so I guess this means a lot to him.
Yeah.
So for those who are not familiar, Kingsman is also based off a comic book, and we reviewed the first Kingsman movie. Click in the link below if you haven't seen the video yet. So we continue on the adventures of Eggsy, played by Taron Egerton, as Kingsman is now under attack by a drug organization led by a woman named Poppy, played by Julianne Moore, and thus they have to get help from another group called the Statesmen, an American group that are similar to the Kingsmen, and they're also led by various individuals like played by Jeff Bridges, Channing Tatum, and also Halle Berry are joining into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a movie I was definitely looking forward to a lot, and I gotta say the first scene of the movie was awesome. It definitely started out on the ground running. It did not really, it just cut to the chase, literally.
Yeah, a good way of putting it, literally to the chase. Because that is what happened.
Yeah, it was really cool. I was really enjoying myself a lot, and I just love how action is really made in this movie. I love how there's a lot of long, like, cuts and takes of, well, non-cuts. It's like a really long take.
Mm-hmm.
And then also there's shaky cam, but you can understand what's going on. I mean, a lot of shaky cam is used to kind of hide bad choreography,
Right.
but this one definitely has choreography, and that was definitely, I was really happy and satisfied about.
Yeah, I agree. These movies really do have good choreography to them. I will say in the last fight of this one, which I'm not going to spoil, but there were a couple things just based on, going to different parts of the room where I did feel it was a little hard to keep up with just because of bouncing back and forth. That didn't really occur with the first one, but overall it was still really on point. So
Yeah, I get you. So, anyway, I'm trying to think what I was going to say. I feel like we should first talk about the, Statesman characters, the new characters added in. Honestly,
yeah.
I was kind of disappointed that, it's not really much of a spoiler, but, I think Jeff Bridges' character and Channing Tatum's character, not much screen time as I thought they were going to be.
yeah, they're hardly in it. Basically what you see in the commercial and like one or two other scenes that are brief are about all you're going to get of them. So if you're going looking to be real excited about that part, you're not going to see a whole lot of them. So yeah, that's something to know.
Sorry, ladies, leave your sponges at home. Yeah, with the chain too.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. And oh yeah,
Magic Mike isn't coming to save the day this time.
I mean, he might be Van Helsing. Who knows what goes on with the dark universe? But we should talk
Right.
about that some other time when Halloween gets closer.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But anyway, back to the movie itself. There's this character Halle Berry plays, and there's a part where she's like, "Oh, I wanted to be in the fight," and I guess people suggest maybe giving her like a whip or a lasso. I'm like, did you guys not see Catwoman?
Yeah, don't go barking up that tree. That's one we've been trying
Or
to bury.
meowing up that tree, if you know
Yeah.
what I mean. As long as she's wearing that outfit, then I'm like, okay, I'll kind of let it pass.
Right. I got you.
Yeah, speaking of looks and that, just a personal note, Poppy, played by Julianne Moore,
Mhm.
honestly, I've never found her attractive.
I know people find her attractive, and I don't think she's unattractive, but I just say to myself, this is like who a 40-year-old dad without a lot of options would find very attractive.
Yeah, and that's saying a lot because I have, a thing for redheads, and she's a redhead, and I'm like, And even like from movies 20 years ago, like Boogie Nights, was that the one with Mark Wahlberg? I think that was
I
the
think
name
so,
of it.
yeah.
And also that second Jurassic Park movie, I'm like, pass.
I forgot she was in the second Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that was a pretty forgettable movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I just love the whole joke where there's something that happens with her character, and it's funny how you brought up about the vegan thing.
Oh yeah, because the password to the computer that's important is what was it? It was something
Viva la vegan.
Viva la vegan. And so I basically cracked a joke towards the end saying that this totally makes sense. The reason that she was trying to get so much attention and cause such havoc was so that she could have the world platform to say, guys, I'm a vegan. And everyone would have to hear her and say how virtuous you are.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of women, it's funny how Princess Tilda, or Tilded, played by Hannah Alstrom, is also in this again.
Princess Anal Diana returns.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny how there's like funny kind of like relationship, like back and forth stuff. In fact, there's another, sex scene that's going to cause controversy. I don't know for, people in Tumblr don't really have a life, but
Yeah, except it wasn't really a sex scene. Like, it was all of, I'm going to put my finger in your panty. Never mind, I have to be loyal.
yeah, I mean, we shouldn't really spoil the
Yeah,
movie. We'll just say something happens.
But that's, I just, that's BS. That is not sex, period. Like, that's getting
it's like
started.
That's like third base, right?
Yes, not a home run, boys
Yeah.
and girls. Let's be real.
Yeah. And then speaking of, as we agreed, we call her Boo Thing,
Yeah.
was Sophie Cookson as Lancelot character. I think that was her code name.
Hear my
That's-
heart.
Yeah. I would kind of like to reenact that scene from Bram Stoker's Dracula where she's like Mina Hawker and I'm like Dracula. There's no beat as hot. And that would be like, I would add on like, you make it beat again.
Are you sure the mic's picking that up? It's kind of quiet, but
We'll let them figure that out.
Gotcha.
Okay. It's just
whisper.
it's like an improv joke. It's better than the improv jokes on the Ghostbusters remake.
Real talk.
Yeah. And it's like, what happened to her? She just like disappeared. Did she die? Did she live? They never explain that.
They better not kill Boothang. Boothang.
Agreed, yeah.
Boothang is she the reason I go. She a bad one.
Yeah, I thought her and Iggsy would have a thing going
Yeah.
on. I thought they were kind of hint at that sort of thing, like, oh, we're kind of friends. I've kind of friend zoned you, and kind of like, well, and then they would work through that
Right.
in a way. But I don't know. But back to the main cast itself, occurring or reoccurring actors is Mark Strong as Merlin. This guy's a really good actor. He's been in a lot of movies with this director, and yeah, he is definitely very good and excellent.
Yeah.
And when he's all being like all dressed up, well, I'm ready. I'm like, yeah, sadly, you're not going to be ready for the John Carter sequel. That's sadly not going to happen.
Yeah, that's true.
And then also, Colin Firth's in the movie. Now, I'm not going to exactly spoil to explain why he's alive.
Even though it's been in the commercials for it, the trailers.
And I just hate it. That's one of the worst kind of trailers, the ones that just show you too much.
I agree. Recently, quite a few films have been showing a little bit too much recently in
It's
the
like,
trailers.
come on. I mean, I think I would have enjoyed Batman vs. Superman more if they didn't show that Wonder Woman and Doomsday were in the movie.
I
I
agree.
would have enjoyed I would have enjoyed Captain America's Civil War more if you didn't say that, oh, Spider-Man's in it.
And if it actually was a civil war and not a civil dispute.
Yeah, civil dispute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's this great video I should show you sometime about is the MCU destined to fail? Kind of like tie it into the Ultimate comics
I gotcha.
in a way, like that history. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that
back
is
on
interesting.
track. Now the one character in the movie that plays himself was Elton John. He's the person that's like kidnapped by Poppy, and it's like I'm not really against singers in movies if they're playing themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is an exception. But then there's a part in the second half of the movie where I'm like, are you kidding me?
some of the most cringy nonsense I've seen in a long time on screen happened in this, and this is what we're referring to.
Fast and Furious cringy.
Yeah, like I literally had to move my chair back and allow my muscles to go taut because it was
I kind of glanced away at it because I'm like, no, I feel like my IQ is gonna be cut in half if I bear any more of that.
It was cancer, and people were just eating it up like sheep. It was ridiculous.
I know.
It just speaks to how stupid the movie-going audience in general is in the United States these days.
Yeah, I mean, Beauty and the Beast and The Fate and the Furious are the highest-grossing movies of the year so far.
It's so bad.
I rest
so
my
bad.
case.
Absolutely. More of a case, I guess, in even just a few years back, but they're really showing their colors now. Rest of the world, you got to kind of carry us through this period because we apparently don't have our crap together in that regard.
Yeah, okay.
But
yeah, I did like, some of the action and some of the story. But one other thing that was kind of not as cringeworthy as the Elton John moment, but the thing that was like, okay, I can't really buy into this is when this disease spreads.
Oh, yeah.
And they stack them on top of each other like it's a game of Tetris. I'm like, even you looked at me and said, I can't really buy this.
As soon as they did that, so, like, I'm not going to spoil the plot, but basically there is something similar to the last one that a lot of the world is affected, and so these people in a panic kind of go to, an emergency shelter type of situation, and these people somehow get an ungodly number of like freaking zoo crates and start loading people into these crates. And first of all, they're cool with it. Second of all, they just stack them in like this big warehouse, and it's so stupid. Like, I cannot see that remotely happening in any form of reality outside of like a cartoon movie.
I don't think Nazi Germany at the height of their power could ever concoct something like that.
Absolutely not. It was just such BS. Like the stacking crates nonsense and Elton John.
You might as well play the Tetris theme. And then Mina would be like, Russia, Russia, Russia. Oh yeah, and by the way, there's a moment in the film where this one guy in some political figure is like, saying like, well, I'm just going to play this person. Who cares about the junkies? I'm like, well, he ain't half wrong about the junkies and that. But then it's like, oh, this person has been impeached. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I don't know if you get this, but I don't know if you get your political know-how or government information from the Twitterverse, but this is not exactly, it wouldn't be that swift and fast.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't help but see that they were trying to get at some, Trump Hillary thing, because even in the very end, the woman was the one who succeeded in impeaching him. And I don't know, that felt...
It was really dumb. I mean, you told me you would have her with the other people, not because she has so much, political authority and significance. Well, ultimately, he actually did a good thing because he bought time for the Kingsman to stop her.
What were we talking about?
The president character. Because he refused.
I really think they were portraying him as an asshole, which is fine. I mean, there have been even presidents in the recent past that have, had the people who take drugs aren't even people type of scenario, and I can't completely agree with that.
But it's like there's been other presidents that have done like far worse, and people kind of look back and say, they're one of the best presidents ever. And I'm like, please.
Gotcha.
Like that one, I don't know if she still goes to the Ivy League school, but the one who liked JFK. And why did he like her? I mean, why did she like him again?
Because he's hot. That is why. It was so cancerous.
Kind of like why JFK pretty much won the woman vote back in the day, just because of his looks.
In that moment, JFK and I had something in common. Our minds were blown.
Yours was metaphorical.
Yes,
but yeah.
by the stupidity. But
Yeah.
and this woman that I'm talking about, she followed to go to an Ivy League school, probably dragging along on someone's dick. But I mean,
Yeah. Now back to the movie itself. One thing I want to say before we wrap this up is that I thought it was kind of cool and funny that the villain Poppy had these two mechanical robot guard dogs.
yep.
And I'm like, live action Jimmy's like pet bark.
Goddard.
Yeah, from Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, I think that's a great observation. If you guys go to see this, as I think we'll both indicate you probably should, despite the couple of cringy things that appeared in it, that is a case in point of we can totally see that for some attempt at a live action Jimmy Neutron, those would be like what Goddard looks like. So.
Yeah. So what would you give this movie, Steven?
Well, I liked this movie overall. There were a couple cringy moments in it, and the pacing was a little less good than the last one to me. I don't know. The overall, I would say the first one, not to subscribe to the Virgin viewer experience that the first one of everything is best, but I do think the first one was slightly better overall. And but this one was still worth seeing, and the only things that really brought it down we addressed, so just know that going in. But overall, I think it would be fair to give this movie something like an 84%. I think for the last one I gave probably a little higher.
88%.
Yeah, I think that's a fair, probably about a 4%, maybe a little more like an 82, but really... It was still overall good, and hit a lot of the marks, just missed a few this time. So
Okay. Personally, I felt like this movie was very good, definitely better than half the movies I've seen this year.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the opening first scene, I'm like, yes! But then, yeah, there was that completely cringy moment of Elton John, and then there was that kind of idiotic moment with, like, the whole stacking crates thing and like the presidential stuff. I was like, really, people?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really love the action. I like the chemistry. I like some of the story arcs. I don't understand what happened to Sophie Cookson's character, and also
Where's Boothang?
yeah, I did like this movie. It was very good, and that again, really good action, fun time. I would recommend seeing it. I mean, yeah, it's a step down from the first one, but I do think it's a solid movie still, even with those problems. So overall, I would give Kingsman: The Golden Circle about 3 stars out of 4.
Yeah, I think that's very fair.
Like, I've said that a lot in like other movies, but keep in mind, just because I say review my thoughts on it right now doesn't mean it's set in stone. Because throughout time, movies can get better or worse, and most of the time they stay the same.
Yeah, relatively.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to state is that so part of the disease is that people like start like dancing for some reason, and then like Channing Tatum's character gets infected. I'm like, oh great, he's training for the third Magic Mike movie.
Boy, is that accurate. Yeah, nailed that on the head.
Yeah, yeah. So this is Tyler from End Credit Reviews.
And Steven from Steven Lawson Studios.
Yes, and we hope you enjoyed this episode of Unscripted after the credits. It used to be unscripted, but an episode of Unscripted. I did it again. Okay, so this is yeah. Okay, but besides this gaffe, which I guess if I do it one more time, just call me Joe Biden is a funny nickname. So after this, all right. So we hope you enjoyed this episode after the credits on End Credit Reviews. We hope to make more in the future. We really hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe.